Okay, so brief walkthrough on the Skyline. Been testing for boost leaks today as I had it running, and it's still creating low boost at low RPM. So I took off the air filters and plastic and taped up the intake. So these are mass airflow sensors. So those are taped up, and then I pressurized the turbo hose that was here. So here's the turbo hose, or intercooler piping, you can call it. Tested all these seams, the boots, the welds, and here what I did is got a chunk of pipe that fitted about 2.5 inch diameter into the pipe, clamped it in, and I drilled and tapped it with air fitting. So I was able to regulate my air down to about 8 to 10 PSI and fill the whole system full. The intercooler here I pulled out. It's a fairly long one with 3-inch outlets and inlets. And when I went to squirt these welds around the top here, the one weld on the inner edge here was actually bubbling lightly. So this lightly was just on top of the fins here. So what I did was I put JB Weld, 2 layers of it, into the fin and around, and as well over the weld that was here. That was possibly where the exact leak was occurring, as these welds are holding nicely. It was just maybe either over boost, it popped a little bit of a leak here or whatnot. So that will be going back on tomorrow, and then hopefully I will have proper boost at low RPM, and this motor will be ready for nothing. Actually, it will be ready to go back on the road. Next step is painting the body here. So these have been fiberglass fenders, and they have I believe just a coat of primer and then a coat of blue base coat over it. The hood, past video you've noticed I fiberglassed a hood vent, as I used to have a hood scoop on this hood, so I had to fill that hole. So this needs to be feathered out, all the fiberglass into the steel hood, and then lightly body worked out as well. That will look a bit better. The GTR quarter panels have been welded on. So this was done last year as well in a previous video. But I will be getting to the bodywork stage here, and I will be able to bodywork the weld. So I welded it all along the body line here, and I cut out the wheel arches, so there's no actual inner lip here anymore. There's just a chunk of ready rod all the way down through the wheel arch. My tire tucks nice and tight here, you can see. And then I fiberglassed the inner wheel well to the outer quarter. Spoiler here, lightly mounted. Not sure if this is the correct spoiler for a Skyline. Gas cap, I have the GTR gas cap, but I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do to mount that. Paint this wing probably off the car. Just gonna finish up the interior lightly. Basically just my shifter hole has moved since I did a different trans, as well as I would like to get a hydraulic e-brake mounted in here. Probably should change that shifter handle. Steering wheel has been working. I would like to get a horn button. The speedo doesn't seem to work, so I'll have to figure out the speedo, as well as the gas gauge isn't working. But otherwise my boost pressure, RPM, oil pressure, and temperature is all working, as well as my heat. Windshield wipers obviously work. But yeah, I'll get this cleaned up and whatnot. Okay, so minor update on the paint job on the Skyline. Inner side of the hood has been coated in black epoxy. Front side here has been sanded down and bodyworked as there was damage in this front corner. The kind of hood induction has been feathered out as it's been fiberglassed in and bodyworked in. The rest of the car has been prepped in 320 grit. The back quarter panels you see have been primed, as in the last video, it was right before primer. So I spotted in some black epoxy. This side now has been bodyworked on top of the epoxy. The tape there is to keep the line straight, as this line needed a little work, and there's little ripples. So like I mentioned, black spot prime epoxy, and then this side just needs some body work. You can see the lows still very minimal here, and then little ripples on the quarter panel, and those will be getting body worked out. That's pretty much it. A little update on the Nissan Skyline, getting it painted. Probably gonna go for a black hood since it's already black. I'll keep it black and keep the hood pins and then go from there. So here we're looking at some Bayside blue paint for the Nissan Skyline. Again, that was Bayside blue, paint code TV2.